Thailand's approach to the influx of Cambodian refugees during the late 1970s and 1980s was marked by a complex interplay of humanitarian concern and strategic deterrence. As tens of thousands of Khmer people fled their war-torn homeland, the Thai government reluctantly opened its borders, establishing holding centers that became temporary havens for many. This initial gesture of compassion reflected Thailand's recognition of the dire human rights situation in Cambodia, influenced by growing international pressure and humanitarian appeals. However, this compassion was tempered by a strong desire to avoid permanent settlement of large refugee populations within its borders. The fears of security risks, resource strains, and socio-political implications informed every aspect of the refugee policy. The duality of this approach shaped the government's mindset, leading to a critical balance between humanitarian relief and national interests. Refugees were seen as both victims of circumstance and a potential burden. The Humane Deterrence policy often took a darker turn. During crucial periods, specifically from 1979 to 1980, documented reports revealed instances where refugees were forcibly repatriated just after crossing the border, typically to perilous situations back in Cambodia. These actions sparked international condemnation. Yet, they were driven by a palpable fear within Thailand of being left to shoulder the burden of an unending refugee crisis. The authorities sent a clear message: the borders were not a gateway to permanent refuge. Even for those who were granted entry into the camps, living conditions were austere by design. The Thai government purposefully kept facilities basic and uninviting, embodying a deterrent strategy aimed to discourage more refugees from crossing over. Rather than acting as shelters of comfort, these camps merely provided essential survival resources. This approach strained relationships with international aid agencies, who sought to enhance the dire living conditions while grappling with the need to respect Thai policy mandates. Despite international agencies working tirelessly to improve circumstances, they faced constant challenges in navigating Thai priorities. Their assistance was often viewed through the lens of how it might inadvertently undermine the government's deterrent intentions. Thus, while the plight of Cambodian refugees raised significant humanitarian concerns, Thailand's policy reflected a delicate and often conflicting balance between compassion and caution, shaping responses to one of the most pressing refugee crises of the time. The refugee camps in Thailand represent a poignant intersection of humanitarian aid and political strategy, revealing the complexities of regional politics. Strict limitations on movement characterized life in these camps, where refugees often faced the daunting reality of confinement behind fences and military oversight. The atmosphere was laden with tension and dread, as leaving the camp without permission could lead to dire consequences, ranging from arrest to violent reprisals. This landscape of restriction was not merely a security measure. It served to deepen the isolation of the refugees, stifling their aspirations for autonomy and complicating their reliance on external assistance. The geopolitical implications of these camps were further intensified by the presence of Cambodian resistance factions. Although Thailand publicly espoused a policy of neutrality, its covert support for non-communist groups was palpable. This duality created a volatile environment where humanitarian efforts were clouded by military strategies. In this context, the camps became less sanctuary and more strategic pawns in the broader regional struggle, their existence tied to the fluctuating tides of power between the Khmer Rouge and the Vietnamese influence. Refugees found themselves not only victims of displacement but also instruments within a contentious geopolitical game, revealing the intricate links between international humanitarian efforts and national interests. The concept of humane deterrence emerged as an unsettling response to the challenges faced by both Thailand and the international community. As aid workers strove to advocate for improved conditions, they frequently navigated a minefield of competing interests. The push for enhanced humanitarian standards clashed with Thai sovereignty, leading to standoffs where the moral imperative of assisting refugees was juxtaposed against national security agendas. This tension solidified an enduring legacy of controversy, as the policies intended to protect often perpetuated a cycle of dependence and suppression. Here, humanitarianism aligned awkwardly with nationalistic goals, leaving behind a complex narrative of survival, agency, and the quest for dignity amidst adversity. The stories of refugees who lived in this limbo resonate deeply, as they echo the broader struggles for rights, recognition, and stability faced by displaced populations worldwide. Their experiences highlight the need for nuanced understandings of refugee policies that transcend simple binaries of victimhood and agency. Recognizing the intricacies of their plight invites a re-evaluation of how humanitarian efforts are framed and enacted, encouraging a future where the focus shifts from mere containment to empowerment, granting refugees the dignity they deserve and the opportunity to reclaim their narratives.